Welcome, everybody, to part 13. Unlucky for some, nearly unlucky for this thing. AJ, you said you wanted to explain why the issues happened.
Wow, we're starting at 6:30.
Mm-hmm.
I've been saying in the last few videos now that it's not a good time for me in general. I'm just not like I'm trying and I feel like I'm getting there,
Mm-hmm.
but overall, I don't feel like I'm in a great place, especially compared to what it was. And I said that especially this past week was just going to be really difficult. And when you get to those points where you feel like you're on like an edge, like an actual big edge, and somebody's just pushing you really slowly and they're trying really, really hard to get you to go to get you to go all the way over. I was already feeling like that. And then I come to my computer knowing we're starting at 6 and there's nothing here. So some kind of update is going on. I eventually get the computer back on, and then I go to open fucking piece of shit Discord, and it's just not budging. It's just not doing anything. And so after about 10 or 15 minutes, it finally decides it's going to pop up, and it's having me log in again. And I don't remember the last time I did that. I logged into Discord for the last time so long ago, I didn't remember what fucking email I used. Because I would put in my main email and then the password, and then it's like, oh shit, I put in the wrong password. I put in the wrong, and then finally, after trying like 6 different passwords, I click forgot password, and it says, no, this email doesn't exist. And it's like, oh yeah, I use a random obscure email I haven't used in fucking 7 years for Discord. Oh yeah, because logging into Discord is not something I do unless we're doing this, because I don't give a fuck about Discord. So I do the whole, okay, I'll do that email and then I'll try the passwords again, and none of them go through. So it's like, okay, I'll do the forgot password thing. And then I have to go through the whole, oh, click this bullshit so we know you're human, like 5 times. And it's always the shit where you can't actually tell what it is. Those things used to be so easy. Now you can't read them for shit. And then finally, I go through that, and then it's like, all right, we sent something to your email. Just log into your email. And so I go to log into the email, and the first password wasn't right. Luckily, the second one was. But then it's like, oh, we got to do the phone verification thing now. So give us your phone number, and then we'll text you a verification code. And then once I did that, it's like, oh, now you got to put your phone number in for a fucking safety thing or what the fuck ever. And so
Yeah.
I did that. Then I finally got into the goddamn email, and then I had to wait for Discord to load again. And then I have to change the fucking Discord's already running really goddamn slow. And of course, I forgot because I never have to do this that I'm using my like external webcam, the one that actually fucking works. But no, for some reason Discord's like, "Oh, you're starting with the internal one that doesn't work, right?" That's why I was sitting in blackness for 5 minutes while you guys were waiting. I was trying to get it to go to the other goddamn camera. So now we're here, and I don't even know if this is going to last. Because usually when we like start, it's fine, and then we're more about 10 minutes in, everything gets all fucking choppy and you can't hear shit. So we'll see how this goes. We only have 2 more of these goddamn videos left of this goddamn series. We'll see if we can actually get through it. And to top it all off, as if we're not starting late enough, I had an anecdote I wanted to say before we started because there's something about November I forgot to say. So
Go ahead.
I don't know how we're doing on timing now, but that's where I'm at.
Go ahead with your anecdote before we go into the December releases.
I had something to say about A Christmas Carol.
Mm-hmm.
Owen, you'll remember when this happened. So I have this Blu-ray of A Christmas Carol, and the reason I have this Blu-ray is they recently killed it. But does anybody remember the Disney Movie Rewards thing? This red star with the yellow writing. Um, I came across I don't remember what I got now, but I got a Disney movie and it had like, well, I always see this, but I've never actually looked into it. I wonder what it is. And this was just like a couple of years. This was like a few years ago. I think it was a year or two ago they killed it. But I was like, I'll look into the Disney Rewards thing and see what that is because I've always seen it. And I went in and I saw and I put it in and it's like, oh, you have this amount of credits or whatever. And it's like, oh, that's nice. Let's see how much things are that you can get with credits or whatever. And so this was only like 500, which was really, really low. So it's like, oh, if I just put in like one more thing, I could probably get that. And then it's like, oh, wait a minute. This you're seeing back here goes all the way around the room. And as you can probably guess, there's a lot of Disney movies in here. And a lot of these had a lot of these reward things in them. So I went to get this one and I was like, well, these things always do like a shipping thing. And it's like when I used like Regal rewards to get my Emily Blunt posters, it was like $8 shipping per poster. So it's like, well, Disney's can be a pretty greedy company. So let's see how much they charge for shipping for something that's not that low that's pretty low in points. Disney floored me. They didn't charge anything for shipping. The only thing you paid in was points. So I got this, and then I was like, there's probably 400 movies in here that have these reward codes in them. Surely, though, they must expire. Nope. My DVD of Ratatouille that I got in 2008 had one that went through. That was my test. And to fast forward to the end, I ended up getting I did the math, probably close to $500 worth of Blu-rays from Disney and 4Ks for absolutely nothing because I had a shelf full of these rewards I had never used.
Wow.
I don't want to say I might be the reason they decided to kill it because this happened. It was shortly after this. They're like, "Hey, we're killing Disney rewards at the end of the year. Get it while you can." I got like a shitload of Blu-rays and 4Ks. Plus, I got my brother a Funko Pop of Chiwetel from Doctor Strange, and I got a mug with the logo from Spielberg's West Side Story on it. And Spielberg's West Side Story is one of the 4Ks I got too. So, that was my other anecdote about A Christmas Carol I forgot to tell. This Blu-ray set off me getting about $500 worth of Blu-rays and 4Ks for absolutely nothing, and it was a spectacular summer.
Take that Criterion Collection and your sales.
And it's a nice segue that we're talking about a Christmas movie since we're going into December.
Mm-hmm.
So we just going right into December?
Yeah, I'm intrigued as to which we're starting with.
Well, we're not starting with the first one. I don't know what that is, but I'm glad we don't have to talk about it. I'm really glad we don't have to talk about it because it's apparently a romantic comedy starring Danny Masterson. No, thank you.
I guess his brother.
Yeah, his brother from Malcolm in the Middle and Scary Movie 2 apparently is in it as well. Looking at this list is the first time I've heard of that movie. That was not on our list at all. So we're going straight to Armored. Owen, how many times do you think we saw the trailer for Armored?
Multiple times, but I don't remember anything about the movie.
I remember we went to something, and the person I was with, you know who that is, decided in that moment that she was never going to watch Armored in her entire life because we had seen the trailer 20 times.
Dear God.
I kind of dug this. It's a very straightforward thriller kind of movie. It does not surprise me at all you don't remember anything. I probably wouldn't remember anything if I didn't. I have a Blu-ray of it, and it was probably maybe 5 years ago I rewatched it.
Hmm.
And it's like, yeah, it's kind of like what I was talking about with The Men Who Stare at Goats, where it was like I watched it and it's like, oh yeah, I dig this, and then I just kind of forgot it again. But it's fine. This one is much more my kind of movie. The Men Who Stare at Goats is just like a straightforward like crime thriller thing, and I love when Matt Dillon plays bad guys. So yeah, and I love the director. It's the guy that did Vacancy and Predators. Um, he's a I dig like all of his movies, but he doesn't have many. He doesn't have an extensive filmography.
Yeah, this was back when Columbus Short was a thing.
Yeah, yeah, he's like basically I mean, Matt Dillon and Fishburne I think are like the main credited ones, but Columbus Short's basically the main character. He's like the hero, and
But
everybody else are villains. You saying something, Ashley?
It's just I do like the mistake on Wikipedia claiming that the script was written by Sam Raimi. Because when you click through to the actual page of the thing, it's nothing to do with Sam Raimi.
Yeah, that would have been awesome, but definitely, if Raimi wrote this, it would be more memorable than it is.
Yeah.
But I mean, the way for what it is, it's fine, I think. But it's just like I was saying, if I'm just looking for some like comfort movie, just at like any particular time for no reason, this is like the kind of movie I probably typically land on.
Although fascinatingly, the only two, or at least after his debut Control from like '03, the only other things that he wrote and directed was the Metallica, like whatever the hell that Through the Never was, like part
some kind of
concept film, like not part whatever the fuck. And then the Whiskey Bandit, which is Hungarian in Hungarian language, but they managed to get some American director to do it. I mean, okay, he sort of studied in Hungary and whatever, but like, usually you try and get out of there to go to sort of Hollywood, not kind of go back.
So, is that Armored?
I think so.
All right. The next movie is Brothers, which is a remake of a movie that I still think I haven't seen. But do you remember this was like supposed to be the big dramatic comeback for Tobey Maguire? This was supposed to be like his big showy awards role, and just doing the thing everybody wanted for years of him and Jake Gyllenhaal playing brothers.
Yes.
And yeah, I mean, it's what it promises to be. Toby does get the really big showy part that's very un-Toby as we knew him in 2009. I remember I saw this a couple of times. I remember the tension in that dinner scene is very memorable, where he's like, we know he's about to crack, and Bailey Madison's playing with that balloon like she's about to pop it at any second. And you can just hear everything you can feel everything starting to come to the surface. And I don't know if I remember much of anything that comes before that. Is it that it's Natalie Portman's his wife? Do she and Gyllenhaal bang and that's what the plot is? I actually don't remember. I think that might be what the plot is, more or less, because he's like a veteran that's like got PTSD and all that. And
Yeah,
Jim Sheridan made
so
this.
I mean, the fact that it says that both the original and Sheridan's one are basically inspired by Homer's Odyssey. You can kind of sort of see that in terms of the similarities, but I thought it was all right. Nothing sort of spectacular. Although another early sighting of Kerry Mulligan, so there we go.
Exactly.
I guess I remember another thing about this movie, which is we talked about the small theater we went to where A Serious Man started us. And then there was the other theater there that had the more popular stuff. We talked about the one that closed. I remember when we were in that town for A Serious Man, the bigger theater had Brothers. And I had really wanted to see Brothers when it came out, and I feel like even though we didn't end up at that theater until 2012, I remember it was on my radar because they had Brothers. And I was like, one of these days we're going to end up at that theater. And little did I know how often we'd end up at that theater and how significant it would end up being.
For sure.
That's nice. Anything else on Brothers?
I remember liking it.
I'm trying to remember if we would have seen this before or after An Education. Because I don't remember clocking Mulligan in it. Would we have seen An Education afterwards?
That sounds right.
Well, she doesn't show up too much of it, given that she plays the wife of the guy that basically becomes the MacGuffin to the plot,
Yeah.
shall we say?
Owen and I have a story for the next movie.
Oh, God, what are we going to?
It's you're the one that talked to the people, so I don't know how much you might remember about this that I wouldn't, but
Oh, okay. All right.
So the next movie is another remake called Everybody's Fine.
It certainly was not.
Yeah, here's the deal. Everybody's Fine came out in December, and the marketing took advantage of that.
Oh my God, yeah, it did.
They made Everybody's Fine look like they made it almost look like Four Christmases. It's like, oh, here's like Drew Barrymore and Sam Rockwell and Beckinsale, maybe, are the three kids.
Correct.
And De Niro's the dad. And they're like reconnecting with their dad, and it's Christmas time. There's one scene in the trailer and TV spot where they're surrounded by Christmas lights, which, by the way, is a fleeting last moment of the entire movie. Otherwise, there's no Christmas in this movie that I remember. And what's that?
It's literally the ending.
Yeah. And this is a pretty bleak movie.
That's an understatement.
Yeah, it's like because De Niro is like, if I remember correctly, I haven't watched this since the theater, so I'm really reaching back here. It's like he's kind of reaching out to them, but they kind of don't want it. I vaguely remember the Rockwell scene, and I feel like Rockwell wasn't that thrilled about hanging out with him.
Mm-hmm.
He's prepping for them to come to him, and they all cancel. So he's like, okay, I'm going to you then.
And there's a scene where he's got like really important like prescription meds with him, and I want to say it's Brendan Sexton mugs him and destroys his prescription drugs, which is really bad for him.
Yeah.
It's a very Brendan Sexton role. I don't remember if it was actually him, but I feel like it was. But it's just a very bleak movie, and I remember feeling like sad and depressed while watching it.
Yes.
Oh, and do you remember the people we met?
Are the people? Wasn't it like an older married couple that were really excited about seeing the movie?
They had just lost their son to suicide and were looking for a happy holiday movie.
God.
And they were the ones that were in there with us.
I wish I warned them. I did warn guests after I watched it.
This was after we got out.
Yeah.
And they seemed okay. They were just like, that was not the movie we thought it was going to be. Like, we just lost our son and we were looking for a happy holiday movie.
You don't know what's going on in people's heads either. They could have been fine on the surface, but they could have been falling apart inside.
Yeah, that's like those people, those poor people, are literally the first thing I think of when I think of this movie. And
Horrible.
like but like, I hope wherever they are now that they're okay.
Yeah.
So that's yeah.
Crazy to think, but like he really did well with Waking Ned and Nanny McPhee, and then did this that was really just sort of not that good, and then directed the Big Fat Greek Wedding sequel. What was it? What to Expect When You're Expecting?
Oh.
And then nothing, and then shows up last year for the first time in nearly a decade with I Swear, and gets
Yeah.
all the sort of attention back on him. So much
I didn't.
that, and I'm still trying to work out where this is going. He's trying to do an adaptation of Mr. Ben, the kids' TV thing. Which, if it goes anything like most of the scripts he's written so far, there's going to be some sort of depressing thing happening in it somewhere.
I'm trying to remember. I don't remember thinking this movie was that bad. I think I feel like if you know what it is, it's probably fine.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel that
But the way
Miramax's
marketing,
marketing really sort of stunted it.
yeah, it's not the kind of movie you blindside people with that are looking for a Christmas movie. That's like, yeah.
The way the
And this
trailer
isn't
looked,
like
it seems sort of way more comedy than it actually is.
Yeah. And this isn't like some fucking idiot confusing the Jack Frost movies. It's like you look at their covers, you can tell those movies apart. Everything down, like everything, not just the marketing itself, the way Everybody's Fine is packaged looks like a holiday movie. The poster, everything. This movie's very buried under its false advertising.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a shame when the movie isn't that bad. But that's gonna just the horrible things that'll do to your reputation, especially in like this kind of context. So I just think about that poor scarred family that watched this expecting what the marketing promised, and yeah. Is that Everybody's Fine in a nutshell?
Yeah.
We knew of Transylvania, but we didn't bother. That's like another spoof movie. That's yeah. Oh, here we go. Up in the Air. This one is hard to talk about without crossing over too much into what our next video is going to be, which is the award season.
Yes.
It's Up in the Air was one of those movies where it's like pretty much every discussion around Up in the Air was just talking about award season when it first came out. I mean, it was like extremely acclaimed. It was one of those movies that felt like it was basically at the front of award season, like as soon as it hit. And it's like we were trying to figure out before, like when the Hurt Locker came into the conversation. I feel like, if I remember correctly, before the Hurt Locker took the lead and just ran away with the entire season, this one felt like the one that was like, this is the one everybody's obsessed with when it first came out, as far as like critics and awards bodies and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
So looking at it, like I said, it's so interesting to look at movies very far removed from awards season after the fact and see how they land. And I think this is a really, really fucking good movie. And it was really hard to gauge that in 2009 because it was drowning in award season buzz and had a shitload to live up to. So it was basically going to be the, oh, this is really overrated movie of 2009 to everybody. But there's a lot of powerful scenes in this movie. I often think about the scene when they're firing the guy, and halfway through they're firing him through a video call, and it's not till he loses his temper and screams at them that they realize he's in the room next to them, and they're doing this through a video call. Is a really powerful scene. And I don't know these days how many people remember that Anna Kendrick is an Oscar nominee.
She certainly is.
Vera Farmiga was nominated for this also, which I was really happy with. And this is another great sort of depressed Clooney movie. Another, I feel like that's like its own subgenre. It's just depressed Clooney. And I love depressed Clooney because I've gone on many tirades about how I think Clooney is actually underrated as an actor despite being an Oscar-winning one. Because everybody pulls out that he just plays himself bullshit, which I don't buy into at all with him. But you've got like there's a great scene with J.K. Simmons in this. There's the Zach Galifianakis bit, and it's like the scenes where they have to fire people are so good that basically could have been the whole movie, and I would have been okay with it. We didn't have to meet Clooney's family at all, and I would have been okay with it. Though Henry Rowengartner's mom is in this, and I loved seeing her randomly in an award season movie. But yeah, so I actually think this movie is really good outside of the award season, but I don't know how many people have actually watched it in 2009 because it was award season. But I remember the last time I saw it, I remember thinking like this is actually really good. So, and it's Reitman, which he was kind of on a streak at this point. This is like his third movie. So, but still, it was his follow up to Juno, which obviously had a lot of put a lot of pressure on this movie. And while I'm not like, it's not a movie that I hold in my heart forever like Juno is, but I do think this is really good, and I think its subject matter is something that's really interesting to explore in the way that this movie does. So it's kind of similar to The Messenger in what are the lives like of the people whose job it is to bring you bad news. Did we ever make that connection back in 2009?
No.
Oh. So yeah, I'd say they're pretty. You could like watch them together almost. It'd be really fucking depressing, but you could. What do you guys have?
I love this movie. I remember loving this movie. I still use the "I stereotype it's faster" line to this day.
Yeah.
No one gets the reference, and I don't care, but it works for me. And I think it's funny, and I know obviously this is a little bit more time down the line before it happens, but George Clooney plays a character, and you know where I'm going with this, named Ryan Bingham. And Ryan Bingham does the weary kind from Crazy Heart. The two Oscar-nominated things within the span of a few years.
I just want to say, I hope I didn't look alarmingly happy at the line, "I stereotype it's faster." It's just I just always remember, like Owen's memory, he'll tell you, is like he remembers like the really, really, really significant stuff.
Yes.
And it's like that's a particular line I always remember because I love Clooney's delivery of it. And what I was so thrilled with just now was the fact that you not only remember it, but you say you utilize it.
Dude, of course. I mean, he's going through TSA and he says such a flippant comment. For some reason, it's always stuck with me.
Yeah. I also love the detail of if you watch the end credits, this movie has a theme song. And Reitman actually does this really cool thing where he has a friend that wrote this theme song for the movie. and played it for him on his answering machine, and that's how he said, like, you know, do you want to use this song?
Right.
And the audio on the end credits is Reitman just playing the message from the answering machine, and that's how the end song is played. I've always loved that. Anything else?
I mean, I think we got a lot to talk about in a month or so. So next week.
Yeah, we'll get much more into Up in the Air then. The next movie is interesting because it wasn't on our list. We didn't watch it then, but it's a movie I love and I love talking about. Should we touch on it really fast?
Sure.
It's Trick or Treat.
Oh yeah.
Trick or Treat was not on our radar because it was straight to video, straight to DVD. And we ignored it for a long time. I ignored it for a long time.
I actually watched it before you did, if I remember correctly.
That's possible.
I think that actually did happen. Because it
And
took
it's
you a while
like,
to get around to it because I brought it up as an idea for verses.
yeah. And first of all, I didn't know for a long time that it was an anthology movie.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, I would have watched it when it came out.
Certainly.
But not only that, it's not even like a traditional anthology movie because it's more of it's almost more of like a Magnolia thing
Yeah, very true.
where they're crossing. We just kind of get all the segments kind of at once as they happen. And this is a movie I watch every year now.
That's awesome.
Sometimes towards Halloween. Sometimes last year I actually started it. Like October 1st, I watched this last year.
Nice.
And it's like any day as long as it's in October. Like I feel like Sam's gonna come and get me if I watch this movie outside of October.
Speaking of that, I know sometimes you've delved into it in the past. I'm just curious if you did or not. Because it's funny because we're talking about Krampus actually earlier today, which is Doherty's other film. But did you ever watch any of the walkthroughs for the Trick or Treat house that we had Horror Nights?
I might have.
The street was much better than the house was. I'll put it that way. But I still think if you're a fan of the property, it's definitely something that needs to be on your radar.
It's really interesting to see a movie that like just went straight to DVD that you would think, and a straight to DVD horror movie at that. That's a different kind of reputation of this could go either way.
Hi, Terrifier.
But this, it was like it was like upsetting when I finally saw it because it was like, why didn't I see this when it came out? And it could have been in my life all this time.
It's totally the type of movie you dig. So yeah, absolutely.
And it has been graced finally with wasn't it just in the last couple of years or so it finally got a theatrical run for the first time?
Mm-hmm.
That's correct.
Which it totally deserves. So yes, I love that this is here. I wish we'd seen it back then, but especially in 2009, a straight to DVD horror movie was a dangerous thing. You didn't know what you were getting. You didn't think something like this was gonna be what you'd come across. But yeah, I adore this movie, especially when it's October and people are like, "Hey, you want to give me some recommendations for something that's like really, really like Halloween, like just really fits the vibe?" This is at the top of that list.
Oh yeah, it's
This is like pure, totally unfiltered Halloween movie. No question. Anything else? Because we're about to get kind of boring.
No, I know. I feel like we're going probably some boring territory, so we'll go with it.
It's not a bad movie. It's certainly not a movie I've seen since 2009, though.
Most of these I haven't. 2009.
It's Invictus. I
That
will
dang-
I will say I think I remember you being pleasantly surprised, Owen, because something people might not know about you unless they know you is that you love a good sports movie.
I do love sports movies. Oh my god. And I liked
Yeah.
Invictus.
I was gonna say this is you could pretty comfortably call this a sports movie, right? It's
Oh
got
my god. I mean, one of the things about me that if people probably have figured out by now, if you've been around for as long as we've been doing this, or even just for a short amount of time, two things I don't care about in regular life that I enjoy in film: politics and sports. Those are movies I will always jump towards. And I can't say why, because I don't care about sports outside of sports movies, but it's just how it is. I remember enjoying it.
so politics and sports. So on paper, Invictus was like made for you. And it's obviously it was built up during the award season as this is a movie where Morgan Freeman's playing Nelson Mandela.
That's right.
We're just waiting for him to get his nomination for it, which of course happened.
Yes,
Damon got nominated as well.
he did.
Hearing the stories of him trying to get that accent right are pretty entertaining.
I'm sure.
What were we saying, Ashley?
Yeah, for Pinar, sort of, it's interesting because it sort of does well because it's obviously it's trying to sort of epitomize Mandela and how it was after he came out. So in that essence, it's sort of the unofficial sequel to Idris Elba's one, which admittedly was like what 5-ish years later, I think.
Yeah.
But then it was also sort of South Africa still sort of dealing with the apartheid issue and whatever was sort of, and the fact that the 95 team was mixed, race, so it wasn't apartheid and whatever. And then lo and behold, they actually managed to go and win the thing.
We already knew with Million Dollar Baby that Eastwood could direct sports. And I don't really know much about rugby at all, or if anything, but he knew how to direct sports here yet again.
Yeah, I'm sitting here thinking, it's like, I feel like he has to have done it more than these two. It feels like it.
Ooh. In hindsight, I'm thinking no, to be fair, because
No, stop. Your word.
I don't. Hang on, directing.
It's also it says something we have to think this hard because his directing filmography is so long. To his credit.
Luckily, I have it, so we can go there.
I mean, he didn't direct Trouble with the Curve, but he was a producer.
That might be what I'm thinking
That's
of.
the only one that I can think of. Anything else is sporting wise.
I guess Robert Lorenz did that one, right? His they've collaborated for a long time. I can't remember exactly what he does on Eastwood's other movies. If he's a producer or a cinematographer or something, it's one of those.
Whoops. Called that one wrong. Fine.
Is that Invictus?
That is Invictus.
All right. I feel like we're making decent time.
Yeah, let's hope so.
This is interesting. This is especially interesting in the awards talk vein, because it kind of went the opposite way. We're on The Lovely Bones.
Oh my god.
So I guess we can talk awards season for Lovely Bones now, since it won't come up much in the other one. Obviously, Tucci got his.
Yes.
And that was the extent of it. This was if you weren't there in 2009, every award season has that movie that has all the buzz going into it, and then face plants.
Has literally the lovely buns.
And when this came out, given what the expectations were, I remember the reviews being pretty shocking.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is not what you would call an acclaimed movie. At least you wouldn't have in 2009.
No.
It's maybe had a turnaround, and I feel like every movie with a bad reputation has that fan base somewhere, and I'm sure this does as well. But usually you'll find them in YouTube comments. If you watch like one scene you like from a movie that's not acclaimed, all the comments will be talking about how this is the greatest, most underrated movie ever made, without fail. They always go to YouTube for some reason. That's where you'll find them. But I remember, I don't know if the review set a certain bar, but I've always been okay with this movie.
I always enjoyed it.
Like, I get it. I get the criticisms because it's a wild concept. And when you say tonal shifts is a pretty big understatement for this movie.
Slightly.
So I get it, but I don't know. I think I just in general tend to gravitate towards afterlife movies in general. Maybe that's why. I do think I think if this was Jackson going back to like Heavenly Creatures territory only, this would have been great. If it was focused on like the aftermath with Tucci and the family and stuff like that. And I know people criticize the casting of Wahlberg because of what went down with Gosling, but I remember that actors roundtable in 2010 when the interviewer wanted to talk about The Lovely Bones, and Gosling did tell the story, but at first he tried to like, no, don't talk about The Lovely Bones. The whole thing where Gosling decided that the character might be really fat, so he gained a lot of weight without telling Peter Jackson what he was doing, and he just showed up on the set like that. And the way he likes to word it is after the fact I was fat and unemployed. So, and then somehow he settled on Wahlberg. So, but I mean, the movie as a whole, yeah, Tucci's probably the standout, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a pretty great cast. Rachel Weisz is in there, Susan Sarandon, obviously Saoirse Ronan at the center of it.
Fantastic in it.
And but yeah, I've always been okay with it as fucking weird and lopsided as it is. I remember the scene where like, is it the sister goes into Tucci's house and then he comes home and she has to escape, it being a really intense scene.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's like, man, if the movie was this vibe and it was like just a thriller, this would be cool. And if you want to go the other way, if Jackson made a movie just about like the afterlife, that would be something worth seeing, I think. Together, it's a pretty weird combination. I think it's a weird combination because of how dark the dark scenes go. The scene where she sees Tucci in the bathtub after the murder, it's insane that's the same movie as everything else. And the scene where she's down in his place right before he does it too. The whole first part is an entirely different movie from the other two parts that are happening later throughout it. So Yeah. Anything else come to your memory, Owen?
No, I remember enjoying. Obviously, you can't really enjoy a movie like this, but I remember enjoying what I was seeing. Like it definitely stuck with me for quite a while. George Harvey is a very like evil man, and I definitely remember that very distinctly. Like offering the soda at just trying to get on the good side, and then the next thing you know, it's goes downhill super fast.
Which also brings to mind Tucci's reaction to his own Oscar clip, which is memorable in its own right. So is that the Lovely Bones?
Yes.
All right. Okay. I don't think we have much to say about My Son, What Have You Done, because I didn't see this till much later, and I don't think it was on the list.
No, that doesn't sound right.
It is like I definitely don't remember this being the same year as Bad Lieutenant, but I guess it was. I imagine I feel like this is something that probably had like much more of a festival run and then just like a really, really small release, if I had to guess. Oh no, it was just at Venice the September of this year. All right. But yeah, I didn't hear about this one for a while. And we already knew who Shannon was because this is post Revolutionary Road and before Devil Knows You're Dead and stuff like that. So yeah. But yeah, this was not on our radar at all. I don't know where it was when we were doing this, but yeah, I didn't hear about it till much later. Do you know what it is, Owen, at all?
I do not.
Should we go on to The Princess and the Frog?
Yeah.
This was a great year for animated movies.
No, absolutely.
It might seem like it was a gimmick for Disney to go back to 2D and hand-drawn.
Mm-hmm.
This movie does not feel like a gimmick to me at all. This feels like classic Disney. I was always surprised how much I took to this one. And I think it's that classic feel actually working and paying off that makes me love this movie as much as I do.
The sad thing is, bar, I guess, the Winnie the Pooh, the fact that they haven't gone back to it. Because everything else since then is CGI 3D animated. Not this style. Even though this style you could easily do in CGI animation style, you know, on a computer rather than, hand drawn.
And that Winnie the Pooh movie you speak of is the 2011 one?
I think so, yeah.
That one goes way classic Disney because not only is it the classic animation, that movie's an hour long.
Mm-hmm.
That's like the stuff, like the little things they released in like the 40s were like an hour long. So that feels like really, really classic Disney, that Winnie the Pooh movie. And yeah, this one had like instantly iconic characters. There's her herself, and there's Keith David.
As Keith David.
I should call him Dr. I should call him Dr. Vasily because I was like, the character's iconic. Here's the name of the actor that played him only. And you have Ray in this one. This movie having the balls to kill Ray and stick with it when his star appears in the sky still moves me so much. Yeah, really, Dr. Vasili's song is great too, as far as villain songs go. The songs in general are like memorable. You don't get that much anymore. Like nothing about this feels generic, which is something it's a trap it could have easily fallen into, and it didn't. Oh, and do you remember much about this one?
Well, obviously I do.
You had your. I always made you do your impression of Ray during the Bayou song.
God. You need to put it how you look like. No matter what you feel. Basically, my Randy Newman. It's okay. No. Yeah. This has been this is a conversation I'm having a little differently than I would have had it before. So let's just say that this is a very special movie because you probably recall this as well. This was my return to Disneyland. The first time I'd ever gone to Disneyland ever was in 2009. And I remember it distinctly because right when I got back from Disneyland, this is what we went to go see. And I know this because I bought a special pin that I'm actually looking at right now that celebrated the release of the movie that I remember wearing at work to celebrate the release of the movie when I got back. Yeah, this movie's fantastic. A little biased towards Tiana throughout time. It wouldn't have been in 2009, but as life would have moved on, yeah, that kind of sticks. The soundtrack is unskippable. There's a reason why the music still hits to this day. And I will state that I'm very happy that Voices created a Princess and the Frog medley so we could get a cappella versions of several of those iconic songs.
In hindsight, I feel the Oscars got it wrong.
Oh my God, yes.
In terms of no, as in, I don't think Almost There and Down in New Orleans are the best tracks on that thing. It's Keith
Almost
David's
There.
Friends on the Other Side. That track is just, that's something I can just literally have on the Halloween playlist every year, and it's just got the right vibe.
Oh, I love Almost There. Down in New Orleans is fine, but I mean, yeah, a Disney villain song that is super iconic to this day. This movie got Dr. Facilier a spot as a walk-around character in the parks beyond the Halloween party.
I noticed that there is a Dr. Facilier-esque character with the what's his name, the clown, this year. Was that character around before or after Princess and the Frog? Because it just seems a coincidence.
So, if we want to go back to the worst year of my life, we will talk about that.
Oh.
That's the reason why I call him Dr. Facilier to this day, and we shall drop the conversation now. So, no relation, just like the Animaniacs when they talk about the Warner Brothers. This movie's fantastic, and Disney really needed something like this, and they got it. And to this day, Dr. Facilier is iconic. Tiana is one of the favorite princesses, and they did a great job with this movie. And it was nice being there on the ground floor because it's crazy to think when a movie breaks, like the phenomenon starts, like something like a Frozen, or being there in the ground floor for like Toy Story. It's like you'll never forget where you were when this thing that you never knew what it was going to became something. And I feel that way about Princess and the Frog.
And obviously it was somewhat recently in the news because they're doing a live action spin-off, apparently.
That's what. Oh, yes.
They've established it's going to be a spin-off rather than trying to remake the thing.
And I know a lot of
when you take into account that Coleman Domingo might be writing it, and given his musical background, it's like, yeah, we might be eating good in however many years it takes.
And to all the people, the theme park community that are butthurt about Tiana taking over Splash Mountain, just get over yourself. Like, seriously. Honestly. I like Splash Mountain too, but And
I
it's
mean,
overall a better ride. However, there needed to be a change, and I'm okay with it being Tiana getting a
it
ride and
fits as
attraction.
well because
And
Splash Mountain just seemed like Bayou-esque.
yeah, for sure. They didn't really have to change much.
So we're doing another sharp left turn here.
But we're looking
A single
stylish
man.
doing it.
Yeah. A single man, which
Good.
I've been very vocal about my love of Tom Ford as a director.
Tom Ford is a great director.
Yeah, despite the fact that he's had 2 movies
That's
and
fine.
a third one coming still.
I believe so.
Let's double check.
I think he's got one coming. It's got like a really big cast and everything.
Yeah, Cry to
Yeah,
Heaven, adapted by Anne Rice. Yeah, filming wrapped back in March, so it's from the timing. I'm guessing it's going to be probably springtime, maybe.
You're talking about a stacked cast, and I'm looking at it right now. Julianne Moore is in it. Hunter Schafer's in it. Owen Cooper, Paul Bettany, George McKay, Adele, Kieran Hines, Mark Strong, Colin Firth, Aaron Johnson, Nick Holt. Yeah, it's a big cast.
Yeah, Julianne Moore just like added in pretty last minute. So
Speaking of, she's in this too.
exactly.
Tom Ford directing Julianne Moore sounds like fantastic to me.
Well, despite her presence in this, this was the big Colin Firth movie of 2009.
Yeah, it was.
Which I feel like was kind of his running start before the King's Speech happened, as far as awards go. Because I feel like for a while before the Bridges thing started happening, Firth and Clooney were going back and forth on like critics awards, is how I remember it.
I remember that distinctly.
And then it was like when Bridges took over, it was like, oh, is Firth gonna be right there, or is it gonna be? But again, we'll do that in the next video.
Yes.
So I remember explaining this movie to someone, because especially in awards season, you watch a lot of a certain kind of movie.
Yeah.
And so I was we were wrapped up in that, and it's a really good movie.
Yeah.
It's not just like, hey, let's get Colin Firth an Oscar nomination kind of movie. Like, it's an actually good movie.
For sure.
But I was explaining it to somebody, kind of forgetting who I was talking to. And I was like, oh, it's a movie about a guy that's just really sad because, well, he's gay and he found the love of his life, and then the love of his life died, and now he's very depressed. And that's the movie. And their response was essentially, why would anybody watch something so sad and depressing?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, it's very well acted. It's very well directed.
Yeah.
It's a story told quite well. There's Matthew Good is in it. We mentioned Nicholas Hoult a second ago. I feel like there was like the Weatherman, but I don't know if I clocked him in the Weatherman. But I remember this is when I realized the kid from About a Boy had grown up.
Absolutely.
Was when we saw this, and I was like, oh shit, that's who that is. And of course, Nicholas Hoult is who he is now. So, but you'll notice 2 people far down on the cast list here are Lee Pace and John Hamm.
Correct.
I don't think I would have been familiar with either of them at this time. I don't think Lee Pace really got on my radar until Lincoln. I know he was around before then, but and Hamm, I definitely don't think I would have known for any reason in 2009 that I can remember.
Well, the thing about it is Ham was uncredited too, so it wouldn't even came across your radar because you just would have recognized it as a voice, and that was it. Because I don't recall you watching Mad Men.
I saw like half a season once, but it would have been long this.
There was a Bill and Ted joke one year for Mad Men, and that's about as far as it goes for me.
I see, like I'm looking at the calendar for 2009 on Wikipedia, and it's like he's here, and it's like something tells me because the part was that small, he wasn't on here until he became John Hamm that we know. He absolutely was probably not on this list.
And speaking of John Hamm, to make a nice roundabout reference to something that is currently topical, you can see him right now, if you're lucky enough, in one of the funnier movies of the year that no one is watching. You're welcome.
All right. Sorry, I just got a detour for a very split second because of what Owen just said. Because Owen's talking about like something of this year of 2026.
You are correct.
There's something else Owen's been saying about a certain movie in 2026 about it being one of the best. I'm not upset. I was just a little caught off guard. I'm not upset. You didn't tell me Power Ballad was going to hit so close to home.
Dude, it's nuts. That movie bought me. That's the reason why everybody's competing for 2 and for 3 and beyond now, because nothing's ever going to top Nirvana and Power Ballad for any reason.
Also,
Nirvana,
Owen, of course, continuing the curse. Because within like a few days of last week's show, the guy that did the music for Once,
yeah, tell me about it. Glenn
passed, and then literally name dropping Kavinsky, and it's like, oh yeah, Kavinsky died.
By the way, the day Glenn Hansard died was the day that's the reason I watched Power Ballad that day.
Oh,
so
wow.
That's what made me go. I was listening to Once's soundtrack, and then I was like, I should probably watch Power Ballad. I missed his movie before Power Ballad completely, but it's like I'll watch Power Ballad today. I feel like I should, and then I did not know that's what Power Ballad was about. That caught me off guard.
It's such a phenomenal movie, and I don't think I'm gonna have to defend myself very much in 2026 when I say that Power Ballad is easily one of the best movies of the year.
But I'm with you that there's been some fucking great movies this year. I've been trying to catch up.
Yeah.
But as I'm feel like I'm slowly getting mentally better. I know you can't tell from the beginning of this video that I'm getting mentally better, but I actually am. Just Discord put me in a bad place there for a second. But what I'm trying to say is, yeah, Nirvana's still number one for me right now. So, but there's a lot of great shit this year. That just tells you how great Nirvana is.
I mean, all the things that you would expect to be on a top list for me, they're there. They're just not Nirvana or Power Ballad.
Well, Owen, I need you to keep talking because I don't give a shit about the next movie, but you sure like it.
Francis Ha time.
You're 4 years off, sir.
I don't say it is anymore. I'm starving right now. What's going on?
Well, you assumed the movie I was talking about, and you know what happens when you assume.
You make an asshole out of yourself.
Go ahead, Owen. Talk about that movie.
That's funny. I think that it's weird that you brought that up because I had a guest today. Actually, not a guest, a coworker today. That's one of my management team that said it's the best Broken Lizard movie in his mind.
Wow.
I'm like, that's a choice. That's a real choice.
So that's a take. It certainly is.
So yeah, the setup that AJ I knocked out of the park per usual is something that I think about when I think about the late Michael Clark Duncan, and that line has been stuck in my head ever since I saw this. It will outlive the usefulness of this movie. And to this day, I still remember that mainly from this movie.
In
So of course we've got
that's fascinating because I didn't know what Broken Lizard was.
Oh my god, Broken Lizard is so good. Still, the sad thing is I've never seen Puddle Cruiser. I still need to see it. It's still sight unseen for me.
The thing is, at least to us, I remember Club Dread getting released.
Love Club Dread.
But not really mentioning anything here about it being anything to do with Broken Lizard. And the same with Beer Fest.
Interesting.
Dukes of Hazzard was a gnome, but I don't think people would know it as a Broken Lizard thing. They just see it as an adaptation.
They just see Johnny Knoxville as Bo Duke, and that's all they care about.
Everything else,
Luke Duke, Long Day, Tom Wopat,
I don't think got a cinema release over here. Ironically, I need to check my listings, partially because it might be because they're just desperate to have something new in the screen rather than, you know, just Odyssey and Spider-Man taking up most of the cinema.
Which again,
the third Super Troopers that's supposed to be coming out this coming weekend might be being shown in some places, but ironically, other than that, it's never really become a thing over here.
That's not shocking.
As I say, I remember Club Dread and Beer Fest, but they buried the whole thing in terms of it being like from a comedy group.
I would say that a UK audience probably wouldn't necessarily take to Super Troopers as well as an American audience would overall. Beer Fest kind of has like a built-in potential European like string to it. Club Dread is pretty much just a horror movie.
Yeah.
That you could for that with Bill Paxton as Coconut Pete, which I'll never forget. And I'm sure if Potfest ever gets made, I'm sure that'll be something that will be universally liked. But no, this is the one that AJ hates, and the one that most people don't even want to acknowledge. I'll go to bat for the 5 of Broken Lizard here. There's never been a Broken Lizard movie I haven't liked in one way, shape, or form. The concept's interesting. Michael Clark Duncan is a former boxer that is basically running a restaurant now, and the Broken Lizard members are his staff. And basically, there's a deal going on that he has to get them to work harder. So in order to do so, he gets Norah Jones tickets so he can give to the winner of who gets to be the best upseller of the day. And then comedy ensues. But I know it's lower on it's definitely the lowest on the Broken Lizard totem pole for sure. But I remember doing it, and I'll never forget the Michael Clark Duncan line to this day. So obviously he's doing something right.
Well, there was also the Quasimodo movie that I don't think either.
Yeah.
But I do think there's a noticeable shift here. At least I feel like it was noticeable at the time. Chandrasekhar had directed all of the movies up to this point, and then Heffernan directed this one.
Yeah, they let Heffernan take the wheels for this one, which is I may not have been the best idea, but
I think Heffernan directed the Quasimodo one too.
Yeah, that sounds right.
But I think Chandrasekhar is still doing the Super Troopers movies though, right? I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
And I don't know if that changed anything too significantly, but this one just felt different to me in a way I didn't care for. Because Club Dread doesn't have the best reputation, but we love it.
Yes.
And Beer Fest is still hilarious. I haven't watched Beer Fest in a long time, but I remember Beer Fest vividly, and I still laugh about a lot of things in it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And Super Troopers is I rewatch Super Troopers at least every couple of years. Super Troopers is always going to stand the test of time.
I'm very excited for Friday to see it. Honestly, I love the fact that these movies that I remember literally working at the movie theater for are getting these sequels later on in life that I get to check out again, like with Jackass earlier on, which I really dug, and Super Troopers now I'm excited about because again, I love Broken Lizard. I like the concept. I love the fact that I'm going to literally be able to have a leader, a cola. It is a it is something that will exist as of this weekend.
We kind of skipped over the second Super Troopers.
That one might
It's
have come out in cinemas over here. I can't remember.
It's fine.
I was gonna say to me, Super Troopers 2 is weak, but I didn't hate it for what that's worth.
That's fair.
And we'll see where this one goes. I'm concerned about the poster where they're all five standing there and Farva's at the front.
You don't know anything about this, do you?
No, I see that poster. My first thought is that Thorny should be at the front, and I don't know what's going on.
Do you want me to tell you, or do you want to find out on your own?
I'll find out.
Because if you would have watched trailers, you would know what the concept of this film was. And there's a reason why Rod Farva is front and center, because he's kind of the focal point of the movie.
I'm not sure how I feel about that in concept.
Well, no, he's the focal point of the movie, but Thorny's job is to try to stop something from happening. And there's also a subplot with the fact that there's newer rookies now, and of course all of the cast is getting older, so they're wondering if they're still cool and things like that, so they're playing up that trope as well. The trailer's hilarious, but I mean, again, it does have one major thing about it, as you can also tell from the poster, I'm not excited about, and I will probably have to kayfabe the daylights out of when it happens.
I saw that poster, so I know what you're talking about.
I've seen that. Well, I knew that scene was coming in the trailer, and I luckily I had advanced knowledge it was going to happen, so I was able to hide from it. But the joke always gets one of the bigger laughs in the theater when the trailer comes up. Until this week, of course, because it'll be out. Same with everybody complaining about the One Night Only trailer.
So is that obviously I don't have much to add to the Slam and Salmon because honestly, except for that one Michael Clark Duncan line, only because you quoted it so often, I don't even really remember the movie.
I remember more about the movie than I thought I did, but I mean, still, I had to look into like reading some of the things. But yeah, everybody plays their part the way they normally do. So
we're doing another sharp left turn. We're at Crazy Heart now.
speaking of Ryan Bingham.
Yeah, this is another one where it's like this one kind of got consumed by its award season reputation, and there wasn't a lot. It felt like there wasn't a lot of talk about the movie itself. Just the fact that Bridges was finally getting an Oscar, and the music was pretty much the talking points. Though Maggie Gyllenhaal managed to score that surprise nomination.
Right.
Which is great for her. Because she's very good in it. And I mean, yeah, it does feel like kind of a... Well, one thing it's worth mentioning is that Scott Cooper directed it, and Scott Cooper is somebody I started following very closely shortly after this because he has made some movies that I feel are greatly underappreciated. I'm specifically looking at Black Mass and Out of the Furnace, especially.
Agreed.
Out of the Furnace and Black Mass were two of the best movies of their years, in my opinion. Out of the Furnace especially is like should be much more beloved and well known than it is. As far as this goes, yeah, you could say most of the focus was on just Bridges, but Bridges basically is the movie, so that makes sense.
Right.
there probably is something you could say is a little generic about it story-wise, but I think what really makes this movie work for me, and this might seem like it's a small portion of the movie, but it's a big deal. Even if this movie feels a little generic about a musician's life that's falling apart and he has to kind of put it back together again and stay afloat, while having like new loves in his life. Where this movie lands, like I remember like the last 10 minutes or so of this movie just really making everything else work. Because it could have gone in like some predictable emotional directions or whatever. But I don't know, I just really, the way this movie leaves, I think is really one of its really big strengths as far as it being a movie in general. Even if it does maybe feel a little generic otherwise leading up to everything, but the performances and where it lands, I feel like really make it something that's actually special and not just one of those, this movie only existed to get a veteran actor his Oscar type of movie. What do you remember?
I love this movie. I remember the second I heard The Weary Kind, I'm like, well, this is getting like regular rotation in my head, like forever more now. Now I always brought this up to you when this movie came out, that the comparison to George Strait's Pure Country. And that's the vibe I got when I first saw the trailer for it. But something about it, it's just like, again, when it comes to the musical biopic, whether it is real or fictional, and like in this case, I jive with it, really do. Now it's funny because again, we're moving into the future, obviously, but when Deliver Me From Nowhere came out, I was more excited about it because of the concept. And it seemed like it's something that did fine for what it was, but it just kind of fell off. Another movie that probably would have done a lot better in award season, but it just didn't. But I'm glad Scott Cooper got his flowers with this because he deserves every bit of it. The movie's fantastic. Jeff Bridges reinvented himself yet again in this role as Bad Blake. Gyllenhaal's great. Colin Farrell's great. I mean, Robert Duvall, of course. It's just a fantastic movie, and it hits at the right points. It's a crowd pleaser, and it also makes you cry as well. I mean, it's exactly what it needs to be. It's kind of like that Star is Born, like Walk the Line style, like rolled into one.
Question is,
I
does
think
Robert Duvall say 90?
I forgot until you mentioned it just now that Cooper did Deliver Me From Nowhere.
Yeah. Yeah, another movie that was painted out to be an Oscar juggernaut when everything was sight unseen, and then it just wasn't.
Are we ready for the next movie?
Yes.
Oh god.
So this is a movie that didn't really make much of a splash in 2009. It was pretty small and not many.
God.
Sponsored by Eiffel 65. There, blue, dabu dee, dabu die, dabu dee.
Yeah, I'm not gonna commit to this bit. It's Avatar. So I know how you feel, Owen. I get it.
Pocahontas in space, stealing from Gully.
Don't forget Dances with Wolves for the trifecta of unoriginal comment. But
They
don't you,
have
by the
back
way, don't you love that people say the same thing over and over and over again? Where they say, it's like Dances with Wolves in space. It's like Dances with Wolves with Smurfs. It's like Pocahontas with Smurfs. It's like Ferngully with Smurfs. The people that are saying this over and over again are trying to criticize the movie for being unoriginal by
I,
repeating the same shit they've heard somebody else say over and over and over again. Does nobody see the irony of that?
well,
AJ,
no,
they have sex.
the biggest irony is how at least the number of the films as they're going just seem to be copying the arcs of Avatar the anime.
I,
Series 2 is the water one, Series 3 is the fire. I don't know what Series 4 is in terms of the airbender
who
stuff. So.
cares?
I'm going to everybody says the same shit. I'll go ahead and say that I like all three of them, and and therefore I don't like revisit them a lot or anything. I revisit them when another one's coming out. That's pretty much only when I watch them.
Well,
But
invest in something. They don't do that.
but no, I really like them for their experience, and it doesn't really matter to me too much
Okay.
if it's a story that feels familiar, because it's telling it in its own completely different world, which is basically what the whole purpose of the thing is. And yeah, I have no beef with their positive reputation of being like these massive, massive movies that make all this money and all that. And yeah, but they've just become this. It's basically a meme at this point to try to shit talk these movies for being the biggest movies ever when their stories aren't particularly engaging, I guess. And I know that sounds very dismissive of the story's not engaging, and that should be a pretty major part of a movie. I get it. I know. And I honestly don't want to be one of those people that tries to say, oh, it's just an experience and that's it. Oh, it's a theatrical experience, but that's why it's great. Like, I don't want to be that dismissive of criticisms either, but I think I just get so annoyed because it seems like despite them being the biggest movies ever, at least for me personally, I only hear the criticisms and it's just the same shit on a loop. And that is significantly more tiresome and unoriginal than the movies are
I've
to me.
certainly, as sort of the spectacle that it is in terms of the visuals and everything, all three are really excellent.
Mhm.
In terms of sort of generally, I enjoy the first one, but certainly I felt that I don't want to make the treading water joke because then that just falls into even more of a thing because of the sequels. But to me, I felt like 2 and 3, on the whole, were sort of just telling the same story, just slightly changing the characters about a bit. Um, I think in hindsight, if it just stayed as the one, I think it'd be way more critically praised and get critically, for those that didn't like it in '09, I think it would get the critical sort of analysis and sort of how good it is. Because Cameron is so desperate to see his vision through, I feel that's where it sort of. Because when you look at pretty much anything he's ever done before this, it's never been anything where it seems like he's wanted to do the sequel. Because I don't think after him doing the Terminators, it seemed like he had no interest in doing 3. Yet somehow he does with Avatar when something like that and its genre feels like something that's going to be hard to. Certainly, as well, I think the running times. If it's trying to be what it is, because I think he's trying to sort of connect with children. Certainly, it feels like what it is in terms of its PG-13 stuff. Certainly, with the generations that they are now, making him sit there for 3 hours. Certainly for the sequels, I think you could probably get away with it. 09, because we're only sort of a few years after Lord of the Rings and whatever. Plus, I think that was actually the shortest of the three at like 162.
They're getting longer.
Water and Fire were both like 170-ish. Admittedly, some of that will be credits, but
Fire and Ash went over 3.
yeah.
But I thought Fire and Ash didn't feel its length. Maybe that's just me.
At some point, maybe it's also as well as because when you were seeing it for the first time, and especially because, yeah, you know, I was the one that sort of wanted to try and see it in 3D to sort of get an idea of what he was doing. I think because we're going back to that, certainly now as often as we are, because of obviously 2 and 3 being released so close together, compared to the first one, I think it just is somewhat franchise fatigue. Because you sort of let the cat out the bag in terms of depicting Na'vi, and there's only so much you can do in sort of making flames look fancy in 3D and or water in 3D for it to resonate as much. I just say, I think if it stayed as it was and as a standalone, it partially sort of doesn't help, but we found some sort of way for Stephen Lang's, Quartich or whatever his name is, to get sort of dragged back in, and now he's somehow an avatar himself sort of deal. Like,
one of the things I was kind of annoyed when I realized they were resurrecting him, starting at the second one and through both of them. But I do think he easily is I would consider his performance in all 3 movies a highlight of the franchise.
that's the irony. Like, considering how the thing was obviously supposed to be a launching platform for Worthington and Saldana, one, you can hardly tell. Certainly when they, obviously Saldana is Na'vi from the start, but then obviously Worthington switches, from Marine to Na'vi style. I think it's just Lang's sort of voice and the way he sort of conveys it that sort of makes me more interested in that character than any of the others. Which I feel says a lot. It's like, he's supposed to be the baddie. And, they keep trying to depict him as the baddie, even in the second and the third ones, but sort of like, ironically, you're more interested in him than any of the people that's supposed to be the main cast. Well done, James. At that rate, it's going to be, it'd be the case of sort of the Titanic actually being about sort of, Bernard Hill's captain, if we were doing sequels. Not that you really can about that plot, but either way, it's sort of like, it feels, to some extent, it feels Gavin and Stacey-esque. That's the weirdest comparison I'm going to do. But either way, it's like, Gavin and Stacey was originally written by Corden and Ruth Jones as a thing that was sort of about Gavin and Stacey, hence the name. But weirdly, it interpreted more into the story of their characters that they played that were the more supporting ones. And I kind of feel that's the way Avatar has gone. I mean, it says a lot that Wikipedia has separate pages for Sully and Neytiri, but then also Miles Quartich. None of the other ones do. None of the other ones matter.
And I think in general, another criticism that makes sense to me, and maybe it's not even necessarily a criticism of the movies necessarily, but the fact that like Cameron is one of the best to ever make a movie, period. And it's like, if he wasn't so wrapped up in Avatar for almost 20 years now, what else would we have gotten? Like I know some
Mm-hmm.
people are starving for him to like, if right now he made a movie that was like just on the scale of True Lies again, what would that be like? And it's like you kind of want to see it, but it's kind of like the way Nolan keeps getting bigger, and you're like, what if he did something like Insomnia or Memento again? What would that be like now? But I think the only way we're gonna branch off with Cameron anytime soon is the Billie Eilish thing. He just other than that, it's all Avatar for however long now. But because they tried to tease with the whole, oh, they might not be a fourth if this one didn't break the box office like the others did, but it's like it sounds like he's still going to.
The fact that the
So,
latest
and
one
that was more of
from
a
the franchise is how he and his crew were exploring new technologies to make them more efficiently, and that they could be made in half the time and for 2/3 of the cost. The only issue being it's going to take a year to figure that out, which means they're not going to start filming on 4 and 5 as if they're being filmed back to back as rumored until maybe this time next year.
yeah. Seeing Jack Champion in Fire and Ash after Scream 6 was jarring. Where you see him as a child, and then you see him as an adult, and then in a later movie he's a child again. But yeah, that's 2009 was when this all started. So if you were there for that, that was something to witness. So should we go on? Owen, you and I watched something before Avatar. Do you recall?
No.
I don't remember anything about this movie. I may have been following. I
Hmm.
remember before this movie. The movie we're about to talk about had me mad at you for a long time. And you'll see now why it doesn't. um the person I've been bringing up that I wish I wasn't so often. I was out with her, and then because I was out with her, we were late for Did You Hear About the Morgans? And you came and got me angrily in the mall's food court to tell me that we were late for Did You Hear About the Morgans? At a time where I really didn't give a shit about Did You Hear About the Morgans. And then we went and we saw the movie, and I further did not give a shit about Did You Hear About the Morgans after seeing the actual thing. That's my only clear memory of the movie. I've got nothing else as far as any memory of a frame of this movie. Does anything come back to you?
Not one bit.
To some extent,
Now,
this was.
but
To some extent, I'd say it was the low point of his career. Because barring his sort of appearance as himself in I'm Still Here, that weird, you know, Affleck, Phoenix, whatever the hell it was. The fact that it then followed up like 3 years later with his voice job in Pirates and Cloud Atlas. And then after a couple of years, you had the full on renaissance with Man from Uncle and Florence Foster Jenkins and Paddington 2, motherfuckers. Like, it sort of. It feels like. Clearly, he felt like some sort of gratitude to Lawrence because he still did the rewrite like 5-ish years later. And then even Hugh Grant got sick of him because Noel was what, Hader and Kendrick on Disney Plus, and he hasn't done anything since.
Yeah, when I think of where Hugh Grant was before he bounced back, because when I think of his bounce back, my first thought is Cloud Atlas. Was it's like, oh shit, Hugh Grant can do this, and I think everybody else kind of saw that too, and then that's how we got the Hugh Grant we have today. I put a lot of that on Cloud Atlas personally. I honestly forgot this movie existed until we pulled this list up. And Owen, regarding our situation, now that I have gotten everything else out, I will say when I have that memory now, I picture you as a guardian angel coming from the sky and pulling me away from that situation.
Fucking Dogma?
It's like you're saying, dodge this bullet. Did you hear about the Morgans? Get away from this. If only. If only that had been the case. Kevin Costner had something come out that was never on our radar. I still don't really know what this is. It looks old. It looks much older than 2009 based on this post. But we're going to ignore it because that wasn't on our radar. However, this one was. Remember the Lovely Bones conversation we just had?
Yeah.
Remember how we were like, oh, there's a movie that's going to be really big. It's going to get all the nominations. It's got the really big director that's had really big Oscar success in the past. And then it gets one acting nomination. Not 9 got a few more things, but the Penelope Cruz nomination is obviously the standout.
Right.
But yeah, it's 9, the musical remake of 8.5, starring Daniel Day-Lewis, and it's a Rob Marshall movie.
And Tolkien and Minghella doing the screenplay as well, which, you know, with Tolkien's history with the player and all that, and Changing Lanes, that was the last thing he did before 9. And even an uncredited right on Punt, the Thomas Jane Punisher. Because I guess we have to clarify that now. And obviously Minghella with the history that he has. It's amazing. I don't know what the memo was from the producers, but the script I vaguely remember being utter shit when it was like, considering who it was, I was surprised. I don't know whether you're like, I'm guessing somebody else came in to do the writing for the music. I don't know.
So Marshall did Chicago. And then he did Memoirs of a Geisha. Was this his next one after Memoirs of a Geisha?
Let me quickly double check. Yes.
So I have to confess something, and if I remember correctly, Owen is with me on this. We kind of dug this.
Yeah.
I remember leaving the theater pretty satisfied with this one. Again, I don't know if it's the Lovely Bones thing where the bar was so high and then suddenly the bar was extremely low and we just landed in the middle of these movies. But yeah, because honestly, I don't know. I don't think I've watched 8.5 as an adult. And since I want to make movies, you would think I would be obsessed with 8.5. But I'm not. I don't know. Fellini's never really spoken to me that much. Which could probably be another reason I didn't initially take 8.5. But I also feel like I was probably too young. But I honestly see this as its own thing. Like, when I look at this, I don't even think about comparing it to 8.5. I just see it as a movie with the same story that's otherwise completely different. And I think that probably helps. But yeah, I also haven't seen this since then. Maybe it's different, but But yeah, I confess that I was actually really into this when I saw it when it came out. But I also just I jive with Marshall's style, believe it or not. But yeah, I guess I don't have much to add. Owen, do you?
I like musical.
Yeah.
I guess what helps is obviously most of the music is going to be just straight up what we got from obviously the original 9 from Maury Yeston. Which probably helps, but sort of probably doesn't help as well because I think with the original play, it's supposed to be the director fretting about his midlife crisis in his 40s. They're trying to present it as somebody having a midlife crisis when they're turning 50, sort of already feels a little bit. But that ain't how it works. 50 is not midlife. It's like, it's well, no, late midlife.
Despite the next movie having a legendary title, I have no memory of it. Here's the thing. I could maybe tell you vaguely something about the first Alvin and the Chipmunks movie. I could maybe vaguely tell you what Chipwrecked is about. And I can tell you that Road Chip is the one where they run into John Waters on a plane and Alvin tells him he's seen pink flamingos. I don't think I can say a single word about the Squeakquel.
No.
I've got nothing of the Squeakquel. Is this when they met the girl ones?
Yes.
I think that's when
So that's
they
what
got
this one was.
introduced, yeah.
Brought in the Chipettes finally. It took forever, but yeah, this finally happened.
I don't know how the term Chipette got away from me, but all right, is that it?
Jason
I
Lee deserves
mean,
better.
just from the fact that it does come from the director of one of Owen's favorite films. Wow.
Jason Lee deserves.
TV movies, I should say.
Yeah, she did direct The Late Shift. That's right.
Yeah, exactly. It's like
I
how
knew
the
that.
mighty have fallen. Dear fuck.
Okay, the next one has a story I want to tell because it just really fascinates me. I don't know why this story about this movie fascinates me so much.
Oh, the Facebook movie.
You talking about It's Complicated?
Yeah, that's the only thing that I remember about Facebook. When the relationship status could be put as it's complicated.
So this is a charming Nancy Meyers movie.
Yes.
This is like wall to wall a Nancy Meyers movie for sure. And it's very funny. I mean, the scene where Steve Martin gets high is very funny.
I mean, this
Streep's
is the
obviously.
movie that set up the Oscars. Ironically, because I'm guessing it's because
Yeah.
of this they got the host gig.
Yeah. And Streep's very charming in this, as you would expect.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if anybody else remembers a saga about this movie, but I was locked in on what was going on here, and I don't know why. This movie struggled with a rating for a very long time. This was wrapped up in the MPAA appeals court forever. And whether it was going to be PG-13 or whether it was going to be R. And it was so on the line. There were TV spots like 2 days before it came out saying this film is not yet rated. It was like right down to the release before this movie officially got rated. And I think I know why. Because it ended up with the R. And when people see it, they're like, why? This is like such a PG-13 movie. I can't confirm anything, but I've always thought it's the scene after Streep and Baldwin do it. And in frame on camera, we see Baldwin grab her down there and say, "Home sweet home." I'm imagining us actually seeing him grab her is where the R rating probably comes from. That's always been my theory. But I was locked in on what is this going to be rated? Nobody knows. And nobody knew until the very last minute when it came out. I'm not even sure, because Owen, the Mylars would have had to have the rating on it.
Yeah, for sure.
How early did we usually get Mylar stuff like that?
Oh God, they didn't come early. Unless it was something major, it wouldn't have came early.
Because I'm wondering if it's something like we would have known before, like, the world. Not that anybody else but me was on the edge of their seat wondering what It's Complicated would be rated, but but yeah, that has always fascinated me for some. I think because we've never seen anything like it since. I don't think.
So it's funny you say that, and I'm looking into it on our wonderful friends at Reddit. And apparently, there's a New York Times article that exists about this exact topic. And the reason why it was rated R was the aforementioned weed scene with Steve Martin.
What the fuck?
Yep.
Was 2009 that prude?
I would say so.
Huh. So okay. So Alec Baldwin literally grabs Streep there on camera, and it's the weed that did it?
Correct.
Okay, 2009 rating system.
I'm literally reading.
Again, what's that?
I'm reading this article from Christmas Eve 2009 from the New York Times right now about this exact topic.
So the day before it came out.
Yes.
Okay, but yeah, it is a whole thing about the MPAA being a documentary that we. I still remember them counting the thrusts of the Selma Blair scene in Storytelling, the Todd Solondz movie.
Yeah.
It's like that's how it rolls.
This film is not yet ready. Go watch it now.
Did you have anything on It's Complicated as a movie?
Zoe Kazan's in it.
Oh, is she? Wow, I feel like we're saying that a lot. Where was she hiding? Wait, I actually remember her in this. Now that I think about it.
Just not quite yet.
Oh, I guess it is worth noting that it came out on Christmas, and I feel like there's two completely different sets of people that exist in this world, from my own experience. Maybe you know this as well, Owen?
Probably. I do work with the public daily.
There's two people in this world that exist. There's the people that go to the movies on Christmas Day,
Mm-hmm.
and there's the people that have absolutely no idea that movie theaters are packed out the fucking doors on Christmas Day.
Oh, absolutely.
Because they always are, but anytime I bring it up to somebody that people go to the movies on Christmas, those people are bewildered when I say that.
Any holiday, really.
And we were there for this and Sherlock Holmes.
Yes.
Which is our next and last movie to discuss. And honestly, there were times where it was good, like seeing Django on Christmas, obviously.
I like full theaters for the right movie.
The Wolf of Wall Street we saw on Christmas. Movies
Yes.
that are great for a packed crowd. But here's the thing also is a lot of the time the movies are so packed on Christmas, being there on Christmas was fucking miserable. And I'm so glad that I don't have to do that anymore. I don't know about you, Owen, but
Well, I mean, if Christmas falls on a Friday this year, I'm screwed. So
Hold on.
but yeah. So when we saw It's Complicated in Sherlock Holmes, it was you had to push your way through.
Bad news, Owen.
I did have a nice little flashback because when I went to Spider-Man on Friday, it was that old school mentality of every 5 seconds there's a showing and there's always people in the lobby, always people in the hallway, and I just did not want to be there. I was nobody in the theater, and I ended my day off with way more people in the theater than I thought it would be there. And I saw Spider-Man in the middle.
So does that take us to Sherlock Holmes?
Mm-hmm.
Thank God, yes. Tapping the
Yeah, I wasn't crazy about this when we saw it. Maybe it was just the stress of the Christmas crowd.
I get it.
But it was like there was a lot of the times we saw movies on Christmas, I was really unnerved because of that.
Sure.
Unless it was something like Django that I was like, I wasn't going to be focused on anything else but the movie. That was rare.
Very true.
But I think it was like getting used to this style of Holmes because it was like we saw the trailers and it was like, oh, Guy Ritchie made a Sherlock Holmes movie. This should be interesting, and we're expecting something like Snatch.
Mm-hmm.
But we're getting, you know, Guy Ritchie's Snatch vision in there a little bit. If it's the bare knuckle boxing scenes, and it's like, oh, this is a take. All right. But I think now that we know this is what this is, we've grown a lot more accustomed to it, especially after a Game of Shadows on top of it. And I prefer a Game of Shadows to this one.
Yeah.
And I like this one much more in retrospect. And the idea of kind of putting in that is something supernatural going on here or is it not thing with Mark Strong and the whole thing, the Moriarty build up and the chemistry between him and Jude Law.
It's only
And
when
it's
I
like
was looking back at clips of the first one did I realize, no, that is the voice of Jared Harris in the first one. As if they were literally planting the seeds that far down the line for the sequel, which was what, 2013, 14?
11.
Oh, was it that soon? But like,
it came out the same day as Chipwrecked. I remember that.
but you know, as I say, in hindsight, sort of was like, okay, so there was clearly they knew he was going to be in it. Oh, hang on, I take it back. They redubbed the lines for later home media releases for, I guess, continuity.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, because I think for a while, there was a big rumor that Brad Pitt was going to be Moriarty. That went on for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
With the Ritchie connection, I'm assuming. But yeah, I'm fine with this one now. I'm fine with like action movie Sherlock Holmes now that we know what it is and it's kind of made its own place in pop culture. So yeah, it Downeying about after Iron Man.
Mark Strong being Mark Strong.
Yeah,
in
pure Mark Strong
everything
mode.
ever, and that's not a bad thing. That's fucking amazing.
All Holmes needed this whole movie was for Lydia Tarr to run out of the shadows and just tackle it, and the movie would have been over. It would have been easy. But Owen, do you have much of a memory?
Kurgan.
Who's the wrestler in this?
Kurgan.
Yes, the one he throws the hammer at.
Yep. That's the first thing. The trailer seeing Kurgan for the first time. I'm like, ooh, that sounds fun. Like, so he's like Paul White in Jingle All the Way. That makes sense.
If the line "I'm gonna deck your halls, bub" had been in this movie, that would have been a whole other deal.
Hearing Kurgan say that in broken English would have been entertaining. I would immensely.
Like, yeah, because Swept Away was a passion project in all senses of the word. And then I think people were sort of on the fence about Revolver, but sort of in hindsight, that isn't too bad an actual sort of follow-up to Lock, Stock and Snatch. Rock and Roller is Rock and Roller. I'm still desperate for the sequel to that. I know it's 20 years on, but please and thank you. I've never, maybe bar Aladdin, but that's partially because, you know, it's a live action Disney thing that didn't really need to happen. I don't feel that there's been a film he's directed that other than that, and as I say, Swept Away, where I haven't enjoyed it. Everything else, like, you know, even the sort of I managed to catch Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare again because it had a TV broadcast like 2-3 weeks ago, which I completely forgot about. But it's like, yeah, I can now see why that's. And then we've got that new one that's coming out apparently in a few months with Cumberbatch and Pike and Hopkins and Paddy Considine. Like, although we don't know that much about it, but we somehow know it's coming out in 2.5 months. So
there was one more movie here, The Loss of a Teardrop Diamond. It's a Bryce Dallas Howard movie. This one was on the list, but I think by this point we were really wrapped up in award season stuff, and that one just kind of fell off, so we never saw it. So
Makes sense.
And then we went into, because there's some stuff that ended up getting Oscar nominations that were like international movies that wouldn't have been on this list that we didn't hear about until the Oscar nominations came out.
Sure.
Like Paris 36 and Il Divo and stuff like that. So we'll talk about the award season in the next video, and then that'll be what 2009 was to us.
Yeah. And that literally leads us right into 2027 award season.
There's a couple I certainly want to mention from 2009 as well, that either for you guys wouldn't have come out in cinemas or did eventually show up, but probably 2010. Which we can wrap into the wrap up / awards thing next week. Yeah, that seems about right. Bry sort of teasing to that anyway, you know, saying I think in the next one about the award season, mention some of the stuff that might not have been on the Wikipedia list, such as Last Station, Dr. Parnassus, Young Victoria's Secret of Kells, and for Ashley, like Nowhere Boy in the Loop and Sex and Drugs and Rock and Roll. Annoyingly, Sex and Drugs and Rock and Roll came out here in January 2010, so I can't talk about it.
I want to say it was 2010 for us too, I think.
But certainly Nowhere Boy was the same day for us as Sherlock. So that was
So we saw all the ones you mentioned, so it'll be like a bit of a continuation.
Yeah, the other ones that I wanted to bring up, which I might as well tease for next time, Harry Brown, and what was the other one? I literally bookmarked them because I figured Fish Tank and the original Let the Right One In.
Yes.
So certainly those to come from. Bry also saying, Up in the Air is great, the only movie that Anna Kendrick gets big, and then her filmography as an actress sort of goes all over the place. Yeah, it's a shame, sort of, she couldn't follow up on that. I think Pitch Perfect was good, it's just the sequel sort of, again, I think hurt that. When the twist comes in is very heartbreaking for Clooney, yeah. Invictus I watched the first time for a couple of weeks in Sunday school. Princess and the Frog is a masterpiece. The soundtrack's perfect because Randy Newman knows New Orleans.
Yeah, he does. He knows LA too. Anyway.
Yeah, so he knows both LAs. He knows the state, and my favorite song is When We're Human. I have all the songs on my iTunes. Bro, I found Single Man boring. Cry to Heaven maybe next year because it doesn't have a release date. Yeah, from what I can tell, it doesn't even have a distributor yet. So maybe, I mean, there's a chance it could show up at London. I think we know it's certainly now too late for TIFF or Venice. Maybe Telluride if they really want to sort of get a bidding war for it, maybe. Oh, but Bryce says he does like Nocturnal Animals.
Yes.
Love the Weary Kind song, but why did Bridges win for that? It felt like a role in the movie, felt like I've seen it before. Avatar liked it, but a B-rated movie. Sequels get better. I wonder if people still get confused when they talk about Avatar. Somebody thinks they might be talking about a Nickelodeon series. I guess we'll find anything about the. Will we find anything about the future of Avatar when D23 comes around next weekend? Considering how I'm thinking that's going to be very Marvel and Star Wars centric, or whatever they need to do. But I thought 8.5 was boring, so I didn't care about 9. Although I haven't seen the Little Mermaid remake, I've seen all of Rob Marshall's films. His best for me is Pirates 4.
I did not like The Little Mermaid.
Alvin and the Chipmunk films sucked. Road Chip is the worst, but Squeakquel is pretty bad.
Jason Lee and David Cross are better.
But to show you that kids have no taste, apparently it got favorite movie at the Kids' Choice Awards, beating out Transformers, Twilight New Moon, and X-Men Wolverine.
I saw a video where Jason Lee started skateboarding again.
That's correct.
That's awesome.
Possibly the worst lineup in history. No Harry Potter, no Star Trek, no Where the Wild Things Are. And yeah, in hindsight, do they still do the Kids' Choice Awards or whatever they call it?
I believe so.
The fact that in 2009 Avatar didn't even get put up for it. Then again, would it have been the right time frame? No, it must have been, because Alvin and the Chipmunks would have been the same, literally the same week, pretty much. Yeah, every time it's there, it's suddenly in the Kids' Choice now. We're like, what changed? But yeah, so we shall be back next Tuesday. Should be at the usual time of 6. To wrap up the 2009 talk.
And then we get a week off, and then it looks like right now, unless something changes, which it definitely won't, it's going to be Sunday for the final week of the month, which is going to start our awards coverage. Sunday the 20th. Because that is the only day I have. So, that's going to happen.
All right. With that, take us out, Owen.
All right. So, thanks everyone for joining us in live or in archive on the voyage we have through December of 2009. And if you haven't checked out the other installments of this series, feel free to. There's a lot of cool stuff out, a lot of fun stories we told on here. And not everything has an anecdote, but some of them that do, there's some really nice gem skis involved. So Ashley can be found on at Ash is my name UK, and more Ashley content forthcoming. AJ content, again, as a wise man once said, when it comes, it comes. So get ready for that down the line. Plenty of AJ content if you want to get your fix from everything from segments that were one time only to regular segments. Plenty of AJ content to check out. Find me on X at Sir Owen Disney. I am just coming off Water Parks Day, which was fantastic, and all of my water parks videos from House of Blues last year got posted, so I was happy about that. And I even told Austin, Otto, and Jeff about it, so they also celebrate Water Parks Day officially. So that's your show. I want to thank everyone for watching. Thanks everyone for listening. Always remember to have the best day ever. 'Tis the season after all. It is spooky season after all, so yeah, we're gonna roll into the fog very soon for myself. I'll be able to make some mentions of things. You want to watch my social media if you have access to it, because I'll be able to reveal some things after tomorrow. And Jinx is out everywhere, so yeah, stream it, get it #1 on iTunes, Spotify, doesn't matter. Water Parks needs to break out, and this album's fantastic. There's no skips, so check it out. So in the meantime, I want to thank you guys and girls out there for watching. Until tomorrow, boys and girls, that's all we got to say about that.